Hi everyone, thanks for joining yet another Octane virtual meetup where we'll be discussing various topics and other cool tips and tricks related to IBM planning analytics. For those of you who are attending this session for the first time, I would like to let you know that we do these virtual meetup sessions every month. Today we'll be covering another interesting topic related to creating engaging and interactive visualizations in planning analytics for Excel. Before I start, I would like to give a little bit of an introduction about myself, as I usually do. My name is Amin Mohammed, and I work for Octane Software Solutions as a senior planning analytics consultant in one of our branch offices in Hyderabad in India. I started at Octane in 2017, and before that, I had worked as an in-house developer in Macquarie, as well as a senior advisory consultant in IBM, having a total experience of almost 10 years in TM1 spanning across various domains. Hi everyone, thanks for joining yet another Octane virtual meetup where we'll be discussing various topics and other cool tips and tricks related to IBM planning analytics. For those of you who are attending this session for the first time, I would like to let you know that we do these virtual meetup sessions every month. Today we'll be covering another interesting topic related to creating engaging and interactive visualizations in planning analytics for Excel. Before I start, I would like to give a little bit of an introduction about myself, as I usually do. My name is Amin Mohammed, and I work for Octane Software Solutions as a senior planning analytics consultant in one of our branch offices in Hyderabad in India. I started at Octane in 2017, and before that, I had worked as an in-house developer in Macquarie, as well as a senior advisory consultant in IBM, having a total experience of almost 10 years in TM1 spanning across various domains. As a part of my professional career, I had also worked and led end-to-end implementation projects for IBM planning analytics and migration of PA from on-premises to cloud as well. You'll find my email address as well as my LinkedIn address on this slide. So feel free to add me on LinkedIn or connect with me via my Octane email address if you have any questions related to today's topic, or if you have any suggestions or topics you would like me to cover in the next meetup session. And I'll be covering the following. So I'll start off with about Octane, who we are and what we do. And then we will jump onto the main topic for today's session, where we'll be covering the Bing Maps, people graph. So these are the two Excel add-ins or the apps. And then we will be moving on to creating some quick and intuitive mini charts in Excel. We will also see how we can add images dynamically in Excel using the drop-down selections. And if you had attended my previous session on dynamic array formulas, as an extension to that, I want to use that and see how we can also create charts in packs that are dynamic to the changing data using dynamic array formulas. And then finally, we will wrap up with any question and answer session at the end. So about Octane, so we are an IBM Gold partner. We have 6 offices, out of which 2 offices are in Australia and 4 in India. Octane head office is actually based in Sydney, Australia. We have more than 40 certified IBM planning analytics consultants in our 6 offices. And together we have delivered more than 100 projects successfully. Our 4 key areas of expertise are providing the consulting, development, support, and training. Our offices in India has 24/7 support center, so where we actually manage our global clients all day, all year. We also provide virtual IBM planning analytics training sessions. That's about Octane. Now data set. So that's how you can always, zoom in and zoom out of your maps. So now let me just quickly update my report to show the cities, and we'll see how that will automatically reflect in my BIM maps. So now I've selected a city view, which now is showing me all the cities that are available in this report. And as soon as I do that, you can see that it is now showing me a view which is more specific to the cities that I have selected. So these are all mostly the United States cities, so that's why it's all showing that particular area of the map. Similarly, I can change a view to show the locations basis on the postcodes of NSW, which is a state in Australia. So as soon as I do that, here are all the different postcodes, and now the map is showing me basis on the postcodes that we have in our data set. So for this one, I'll be using this small report that again shows the sales by various car models that I have here. So I'll just open up the people graph, sorry, and as soon as I do that, it actually shows me a preview of what my data might look like once I select it. So here you can see that the data is on the left with all the column labels on the right, and it is represented in a particular shape, and this shape will increase its size and decrease it based on the relativity of the data that you have here. So now let's just add our data and see how it will look like. So to do that, I'll click at this add-in, and in here we have an option called data. I'll select that. As soon as I do that, it comes up with this particular window, and here I can provide a title for that. So I can just say, I can give it a title saying sales by model over here. And now I can select the data. So here, once I do that, then it actually provides me the instructions on how my data should be structured. So it actually says me to select 2 columns in your Excel spreadsheet. So my criteria in this one, so my return range would be the same. My criteria would be where this value is greater than or equal to the large function is what I'm going to use, which gives me the largest value basis on what range that I want to pass in here. So here it's going to be large 5. So that's my criteria, and I hit enter. Now it's showing me all my top 5 locations over here. So I can now copy the same formula and now paste it over here. The only thing that I will change is my array, what I want to return. Here in this case, I'm going to return this one, and now you can see that this is reflecting accordingly based on whatever the data that we have here. So I can just change this to top 6 locations, and here I have the top 6 locations, and so forth and so on. So that's how you can create dynamic charts using the dynamic array formulas in this one. So the next topic that I would now like to cover is adding images in our reports that changes dynamically based on the selection in the drop-down list. I'll open a new Excel workbook to demonstrate this. So for that, I'm just going to go here, open, and this is the one that I'm going to open. So all it requires is the cell reference. So I'll just put it this, and then click enter, and then close it. So now that you have created the name range, the last step is to assign this particular image with the name range. All right, we can have any image over here as a starting point. And once we assign the name range, the picture will automatically change to the one selected. So here I will just select that name range, that picture, and then use that name range that we had earlier created. So here we have indirect, and then I hit enter. So now once I've done that, if I change it to IBM, now you can see that it is automatically changing. And this time I have used the indirect name range to. And here we have got actual and budget. So this report has got the actual and the budget. Now what I want to show is, I want to show an area chart for the actual and a line chart for budget to show, on the same chart, to show the trend of how my budgets are tracking or my actuals are tracking over the budgets. So for that, the first thing that I'll do is I'll just clear this off. So to do that, first I'll have to select the actuals, and I'll create the first area chart. So for that, I'm just gonna select this, and within insert, I'm going to add an area chart over here. And now that I have an area chart, I would now like to add a line series. So what I'll do is I'll copy the budget and then select the chart and then paste it as special, and I'll add that as a new series. So as you can see here, I have both actual and budget data in this chart, but I want to show the budget as a line chart as opposed to the area chart. Similarly, I can keep holding the Alt key, and now I can resize it so that it actually fits into that particular cell. So now that I have this chart, now I'm just gonna duplicate that chart 3 more times. Okay, so that's 1, and then that's 2. So I'm just gonna again do this hold. You can always select all of them and then do a hold key, and then align left and so forth to do all of them together. So now that I have this chart over here, all I need to now do is last thing, change the data. So here I'm just gonna change the data from cell B7 to 8, and then M7 to M8. Okay, and then similarly for this, I'm gonna just change that to 8, and then 8. Don't worry about the formatting. We can easily update the formatting at the end through a simple trick. So we can just leave it that for now. Just change the references, and then once we have it there, then we can update the formatting.
Workflow status. So Blackline is automating as much as possible. And one of the things that it's taking in a unified platform is information from your finance systems, such as your trial balance, and loading it in so that your organization is able to start work from the moment they log in. So this is their workspace, and they're presented with what they need to do. We've also got measures based on due dates, and we use color coding to alert individuals to what they should focus on. So the dashboard is really focusing individuals on where they need to work today. They're not spending any time looking for paperwork, documents or comments and trying to find out what's going on. We also have other key performance indicators for managers who may want to look at the health of the organisation. So let's just say we've got a shared service set up and we've got tasks that have been assigned to multiple different organisational business units, but one person's in charge. So from the very beginning, I can actually see what hasn't been prepared for each of those organisations. These dashboards are configurable to any organisation and based on whatever KPIs they want to address. Another KPI is aging open adjustments by accounts. So Ian mentioned Coca-Cola and a couple of other organisations that once they introduced Blackline, they did reduce risk and they improved the efficiency for their teams. But one thing that they got to see straight away is the age of their open item adjustments as individuals were reconciling accounts. So we always get bogged down with month end, and sometimes we just don't have time to close out the open item adjustments, and they carry forward and then they age. Now, one of our organisations was able to get an immediate ROI the moment they switched Blackline on, and they could see, they could identify an aged open item that sat in a bucket well above 365 days.